Welcome back, everyone. We're back with some hot piping state versus state action. It's going to be New South Wales versus the favorites in Victoria. I'm Peter, and we are getting ready here. So, Foz, how are you looking forward to this game?
I am immensely looking forward to this. Even like before the teams were announced, I think anyone in the community would have known that New South Wales versus Victoria is probably the highlight. I mean, I think it's safe to say we're watching the grand final preview right now, unless a miraculous turn of events happen. But yeah, we're really watching the powerhouses of the competition right now. If you look down at the players we have on either teams. So speaking of that, in the short amount of time we have until this game starts, I think we should head down these rosters. So do you want to get us started with Team Victoria, Beta?
Yeah, sure. So we've got Cookie or Scissors and Silver on Scouts. I don't know who's going to be Pocket Scout, but maybe you know that. Well, it probably doesn't matter too much. And then we have Lock and Down on Soldiers. You got Enrith on Demo Man, and then who's Triple H? Is that who is that?
I believe that should be Lock.
Oh, that's a Lock. Okay.
Oh wait, no, Lock's
No,
on Soldier. I'm blind.
Yeah.
Who is that?
It's not
Oh,
you
well,
then. So Ivan probably. He always
Ivan,
has dumb
yes.
names, right?
Okay, as the teams have actually readied up, I will quickly head down Team New South Wales. On Scouts, we have Starbucks and CK. On the Roma Soldier, we have Fane. On the Pocket Soldier, we have Spade. On Demo Man, we have Trumpet. On a Medic, we have Samson, as both demos get to mid at exactly the same time. Take us away, Beta.
Yeah, so we're just going to try to jump up here. Spade doesn't really achieve too much, but the Demo Man has walked right across the front of the Trumpet. He gets taken down by a flanking soldier. It looks like everyone right now from Red is just underneath the point. And they are almost able to win it, but it's just going to be a DM fight now. It's going to be a 2-on-2 fight, and it actually heavily favors New South Wales, so they actually managed to get it out and win this first round here. At least so far. There might be a second wave incoming.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty convincing. Actually, as we said, that Down comes in for a jump, but Spade, a single rocket from Spade deters him as he heads back around corner. So there we see the first cap coming out for New South Wales pretty convincingly. Spade just pressing and choke as Down comes in with a big bomb. Enrith actually supporting with those Steve bomb, takes him out, and it's made so much space for Victoria here as they just kind of slowly push their way through corner. Lock does lose his life, but they traded out for Starbucks, and they just bully New South Wales out of mid. Really not putting up too much resistance there. Yeah, they do. Trumpet just too far out, and Samson actually taking a lot of spam. A Sticky might have him. Oh, he just escapes through Shadow. A beautiful Sticky though from Enrith, almost taking him down as Victoria just completely showing New South Wales how it's done and just muscling 2 points at once without really any effort at all.
Just bully TF2, just making their way in there, just abusing their really good DM to just go in there and fight it in. And they're going to take this Uber in here. There is going to be a Pyro. It is going to delay them quite a bit, but eventually he's going to go down, and they managed to get a bunch of kills on the other side of the point as well. Fane is kind of hiding behind lines, but no, he goes down, so every single person gets cleaned up and then they cap.
Not only that, I believe in that last push, every single person on Team Victoria got a frag, if I'm reading my kill feed correctly. I believe they very evenly spread that load across all 6 players, including an arrow kill right at the end. So
and nobody died.
No one died.
That is the perfect push.
It is, I think, one of the best pushes into Pro Lands I've ever seen, and we all know how awful this last point can be to push in. As we get to this second mid-fight here, we see Enrith getting up to train here quite early. A massive bomb coming in from Spade, completely getting himself in this firebox, and he gets down Ivan with a fantastic bomb, but so much carnage has gone either side. Samson has managed to survive so far, but he's having to back out around into the enemy team's corner to survive here, and it looks like him with Fane and CK have actually managed to win this mid-fight. So a second mid-fight in a row going to New South Wales. Fane is dying late in this fight though, but Cookie's not going to chase that down, instead just going to go back to the safety of the respawn cabinet with his Demo Man.
Yeah, New South Wales, they have really good success with their soldier bombs, and they just managed to take down the medic and like a bunch of other stuff really quickly, but then Fane overextended, and now we're going to get this fight, and Spade comes in from the side again, takes down Enrith. That's a really big pick, and Locke not quite going to be able to find the medic, but he has found a bunch of other stuff, but it's not going to be quite enough for them to win this fight down. He's going to be fighting with the soldier, but he does manage to make his way out alive. But it is actually a really good situation here for New South Wales, so they are putting up a great fight here, and I think it's just going to be a matter of can they actually delay this second point Inspire enough for them to hold last with a proper Uber.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah, Cookie got a bit aggressive out on bats there, but just back row was medic. I've been informed apparently it's Hurts on medic, not Ivan, if that's to be believed. If it is, it's a very weird choice for Hurts to be on medic, being one of the top fraggers in ozfortress right now, but be that as it may, as we see, yeah, New South Wales just playing it really slow, not really sure how they want to approach this next push as both teams on even Ubers. We do have Silverdocs up on that engineer class, starting to build that level 1 in the most predictable spot ever, but it's predictable because it works. Just protecting that left-hand side from the attacker's perspective, as New South Wales really can't find an opening here. Spade eventually makes his way into lobby, and that's the cue for the rest of his team to start flooding in. And Fane gets denied by the sentry and some sticky bombs all at once.
Yeah, that was never gonna work. And actually, the force comes out here. That was a bit surprising to me. I didn't like the medic wasn't under pressure at all, so he just tried to save a bunch of teammates, and that didn't work at all. So now Hurt's gonna just be sitting on this full Uber. And actually, there's a scout on the point.
Spade doing fantastic in CK, and they actually get the Uber force out of this, so they turned a pretty bad situation into one that's quite good, and this Uber's is going to get them out of lobby here. A massive sticky trap gets Enrith down to 5 HP, his medic can't connect to him, so he's out of this fight. While we say this,
is so weak.
Yeah,
he took an arrow.
And I don't think... Oh, Locke actually comes up to support a scout there. Silverdocs was almost taken out on Spy there, but Locke with a fantastic bomb to support that. He does eventually go down as Starbucks, being really aggressive there, able to avoid every single rocket from down, who's doing so much damage. Locke is cleaning up. I don't know how Starbucks isn't dying. He finally goes down, but he wasted so much time for his team, allowing Spade to get in, but he loses his life too to Locke. Samson with a nice arrow to take down Enrith, and Locke should lose his life here. There we go, CK with a frag. So a very messy fight, but Samson staying alive through all of that and giving himself about a 50% Uber advantage.
Yeah, Hurt stayed alive as well. He took the elevator up to the top floor there on a balcony. That was really nice. The soldier in the skybox not going to be able to get his way onto the enemy medic, but he's going to try again, or at least to get up onto Spire. Hits a nice rocket onto down. He might just go down to the scout.
Samson was disconnected on side Spire by himself. No teammates around him and had to get the force off. And CK loses. They do get hurt. Yeah, fantastic work. Down's denying second, cleans up Spade, and Enrith takes down Fane. So even though they do good work getting the medic, Samson's quite weak coming along corner, and all of New South Wales is chasing him down. Lock in with a big bomb. 1 rocket, 2 rocket. There he goes. Starbucks does his best, but Cookie eventually cleans him up too, and Victoria with that get not only the midpoint, but Hurts will have a pretty decent Uber advantage to be able to push into second here.
Yeah, they took down the Hurts, but they didn't have a very good Uber, to put it very generously. It really didn't work out for them at all, and then they just kind of got pulled apart and taken down. And sometimes, like, it's better to just have manpower other than the medic, and it was a really good chase as well. And now it's going to be completely reverse situation here. Now we're on the opposite spire, with scouts and soldiers just putting on pressure, and looks like it's going to be a forward hold from New South Wales here. And we saw it work really well before. It definitely worked and made New South Wales lose their Uber before, so maybe they can repeat the success here on the opposite end.
Yeah, again, I understand both teams kind of wanting to play it a bit tentatively. Hurts just coming up on Uber, as so does the opposite. He pops in super early. I'm not sure if he thought there were traps there, but Victoria Uber in so early and they don't find any frags. Spade actually manages to jump down on just about 17 HP. Trumpet is locked into spawn here, but they haven't had to use the Uber. Actually, Samson finally pops. They lose CK in the fight, and they lose Fane too. This is a disaster, but they do kick up Sorceress and Locke for their efforts. They started that last hold so well, but just lost a couple of players the moment that Uber came out, which is really not what you want to happen, especially as you try to push out of last point. And they're kind of hovering back and forth, not showing what they should do. Eventually, Spade makes his way onto Spire, but Victoria have the manpower to easily stop this if they choose.
Yeah, when you have that demo, man, it can be really easy to actually block it. And look at that. A pipe finds Starbucks up on the Spire, and they take down the medic as well. It looks like Fane will eventually get the cap, but it's going to fall the other way. I'm almost certain of it.
Oh my
actually,
god,
Hurts
Fane!
Goes down. What a
fantastic bomb off of Spire. CK's just doing some chip damage. Locke might actually be pressured off with Spire here. No, Trumpet's not able to get the damage up. So Locke is fighting CK here. Actually does a lot, but down coming in just forces them back. So Victoria should regain Spire here because New South Wales really still don't have the manpower quite up on bats. They're slowly getting here, but I think they should actually be able to get a repush here, as Hurts is only just kind of coming up to his team with heals now, but it looks like they're planning on taking this fairly slow for the time being. They don't want to rush anything yet.
Yeah, can be a very dangerous fight to take, and especially if there's a sniper. There's a very obvious sniper situation, I feel. And if you just walk out there, you can just get body shot so easily. And you have to, like, you're a very exposed target when you sit on top of Spire. So I don't blame him for not going out here and taking this fight, because it's just so easy for Demo Man to continuously spam you down, and they can just retreat into choke and just really stretch you apart. And then they can send players behind and back cap you. So it's very difficult to properly push out from Badlands. I assume it's a slow cap Badlands, where it's 4 seconds, not 2. But
Yeah, I believe that's the version of ProLands we're running. It's kind of going back and forth with every update based on how angry people get at it. But Victoria do manage to get their way up onto bats here very cleanly as both teams get their erupt. We do actually have CK coming up on the engineer, building the gun up on the left-hand side if you're a defender. Where Down looks like he wants to start pressuring. Yeah, I think Down realizes there's a gun there. He's trying to get a bit of spam off. And yeah, there we go. The spam from Lock, from Lower does manage to take that out. So it might be a cue for someone on Victoria to get really aggressive, and that person is Silverdox, who runs into about 5 people at once. Down should get taken out too. He manages to live while taking out the sentry gun. Really good work from the roamer of Down there, as Victoria just, content to stay back here. A massive bomb coming up. Wow.
that was beautiful, the way he just surfed up those stairs. Yeah, really nice job there. Let's see what Silver comes back on. It looked like a sniper suicide. It was pretty telegraphed, I'd say, but once again, they're really good at just spamming down the sentry gun. That's a really key thing, because it just opens up so much space, and it looks like Silver Dogs are just going to stay on scout. And I've also just mentioned, while we were talking about this last cap, that's OK Star versus Speeds. But yeah, this Badlands version is like different from the one in ETFL and ESEA. Like the last cap is open. There's no glass in the ring. It's a bit weird to see.
Yeah, I mean, ProLands and Badlands itself has always been, despite being such a staple map, it's always been a bit divisive, especially, this last to second transition, or second to last is, let's say not loved within the TF2 community, as we are at a bit of a pause here. And yeah, that's caused the ProLands versions to go kind of back and forth on a few design aspects. I personally don't mind the kind of open back. I actually like some of the opportunities it brings up. It allows you to do some sneaky stuff with spies. It lets roamers to get in a bit easier, but none of that matters right now, as the players are just hovering in midair, waiting for whatever issue it is to be resolved.
Yeah, there's 2 players down on Victoria, so they're a bit in a precarious situation. You can see Enrith, he might just go down here to CK. CK is like right in his face. His crosshair is just basically hovering over his Demo Man hitbox. Once it unpauses, he could just immediately die, and it could be a 3-on-5 situation. Very uncomfortable for Hertz, because you don't want to use Uber here in this situation just to get out alive. That's just awful.
Yeah, of course not.
We'll see.
Oh, sorry, go on.
No, you go on.
Okay, I was just saying, Hertz actually is positioning himself quite well. He is far enough from his team that if need be, he can just quickly hop up these stairs and head out that top window on Balk. So Hertz should be fairly safe here, barring a catastrophe. I mean, it depends how aggressive he wants. He might actually head down and try to save the demo there. Hertz isn't a medic main, so I doubt he would go for a play like that. He's not weighing up every single minutiae of this current push and trying to work out how respawn time is working, how it would affect them coming into last point. I think, especially in what is essentially a mixture of pug teams, I think he's just going to play it safe and probably bail rather than try to do anything too fancy here. So yeah, I think I wouldn't be surprised if Enric loses his life pretty quickly, and New South Wales still just sits on Balk and don't want to push out in the slightest.
Yeah, if Enric goes down, then Spade can just walk out and put on a ton of pressure, and it's really important that Locke gets out quickly, which is going to be probably difficult, because he's almost certainly in the mindset of trying to save his Demo Man right now. He's going to be slightly delayed, so this could just be a medic and a scout just trying to retreat out of a window, completely incapable of actually contesting seconds. So that would be very unfortunate that they do to lose a point like that, because as you've mentioned already. Oh, let's
here we
see.
go.
We're live, and
NRF just walks back. CK is actually still chasing it. Takes a rocket to the face, takes a second, but survives on just a slither. I can't work out how much because of classic HUD breaking. But we will see.
Break. It's 3 HP.
There we go. 3 HP manages to get to his medic. That's quite good. Here we go. We actually see Spade coming up. He loves the first jump, and that allows the other team to know he's there. He gets locked, but that's what happens when you miss rocket jumps. Your bombs don't go to plan.
Yeah, I mean, at least he got the plus rep in there. Good trade. Takes the soldier down, and lock. I think I've seen him play some snipers before, so maybe he's going to decide to do that. It is kind of interesting with this open point that you can't hide behind the point. But actually, they're just going to take the exchange. That's a very interesting situation. And Enric, once again, super low, gets an arrow, but not in a situation where he can do much. And they're actually going to come in from the other side.
Oh my god, Spade and Starbucks. That is a combo of dreams. There's actually someone coming up from behind. That's down. He gets taken out. Lock does take out Starbucks, but he's the only member of Victoria Survive. That coordinated flank there by Starbucks. Starbucks and Spade was absolutely, I mean, that was played to perfection. You really can't get better than that.
Yeah, it was a very aggressive pushing there from Victoria, and it got punished super hard. That soldier just completely blindsided them. Got like 3 nice rockets that just all hit multiple targets. And then the scout just came in and cleaned up. Really well done. But they're going to take another aggressive fight, and everyone is not really in here. This is where the pause happen, it seems. And we do have 2 scouts on this fire, but there's a demo man who can block it off. So this is a very open fight. Looks like we're going to have soldiers in the sky, but he's just going to take a ring around the rosies. No big deal. Trumpet's super weak now, so he's going to have to back up really deeply. And now the medic is just kind of caught in, but it looks like he was just baiting.
Oh, Fane coming in from the backhand, gets hurts again. How many times? And he gets locked for his Trumpet. How many times can Fane just jump in from behind? CK cleans up those final 2 frags, but while all of Victoria were focused on the combo, Fane just hops in around them while not a single eye was on him and gets probably some of the easiest kills of his life. Doesn't even matter that his demo isn't even supporting in the fight.
Yeah, it's been 2 situations in a row right now where Victoria has taken a really aggressive fight and they've been punished really severely for it. So this might just be the recipe for New South Wales, where they just play more coordinated, and Uber has actually been popped here. That's a bit unfortunate. Let's see if they can actually get the Spire out of it at least. But Sieg is actually going to go down. Really nice jump in there from Locke's going to take him down. And there is 0 time on the Spire, and looks like it's not going to be a fight that's really worth taking. But once again, medics under fire, so weak. Hurt survives.
Oh my god, Fane gets absolutely suspended by Sorceress, who, I mean, previously just suspended Spade. That was fantastic scout work. Samson and his demo disconnect on mid. One goes behind train, one goes into house, and they both lose their life because of it. Really fantastic cleanup their work from Victoria, just realizing that there's a disconnected team, and the best way to punish that is just by pressing W and going into them. We do see a scout hiding here in corner. Starbucks goes down, so it really is on Seeker here, but he gets spotted out so easily, and Cookie gets another frag, absolutely protecting his medic with all he's got, as the Victoria get a very easy cap on Spy here.
New South Wales, they need to be careful not to just feed in too hard right now, because there's about to be an Uber just barreling down their throats, and they don't even have 4 players off right now. And yeah, like 7, he is in so deep. He's somehow still alive. Okay, I think that one. There's a heavy gonna get taken down. They're putting pressure on the point right now, and that's gonna be that. 2-0 for Victoria here. It looked kind of shaky for a moment there, but eventually the aggressive tactics do pay off, and they manage to come back, make it 2-0.
Yeah, they just caught they just caught New South Wales off on one bad play and just steamrolled point to point. Really expertly done, kind of just catching the team on bad spawn ways every time. Enrif taking some early damage early, but gets quickly arrowed up by Hertz, as Victoria looking like they have some dominant position. Samson goes down immediately, followed by Trumpet, Spade, and CK. Fane comes down to get Hertz. It's some compilation, but he loses his life too. Starbucks goes down, and Fane, technically, you know, trades for Cookie at the end too, but wow. I mean, Victoria just, again, flexing their muscles and telling New South Wales, no, we are the better state, as Enrif is already on bat, sticking it up, not even wanting New South Wales to even look at him.
Yeah, that mid was really, all came down to the demo man. Like, Enrif managed to just completely trap Trumpet inside his little house. It just took so long to actually get Trumpet out of there and into the fight that it was just way too late, and the positioning was just so much better. And that's going to be, I think, the first mid-fight win for Victoria. And now they're going to be able to take this Spire as well. It's
It
just
is.
yeah.
It's worth pointing out, Fane is actually jumping in from behind, but he's kind of just mistimed it, and here we go, he's located Hertz. Misses the first rocket, misses the second, he gets the third, but gets taken out by Silverdogs as Trumpet goes down too. Fane really just unable to connect at all. That geometry really working to Hertz's favor, as he barely took any splash damage either.
They're not even waiting for Uber right now. They're sending in 2 scouts very aggressively, and Silverdogs will go down for it. So it's actually a small Uber advantage here for Samson, so Hertz, he needs to be a little bit careful. If he gets too close, he's just going to get Ubered on and killed really aggressively. And,
Looks like things have lowered out. Starbucks is trying to go for flank here, but gets spotted out by Cookie immediately, so he just has to back out. Doesn't lose his life for it, which is nice. And we're down to a fairly standard last push stalemate here, as it looks like Victoria's just kind of getting all their pieces together and working out how they want to do this.
Yeah, Silverdogs had another opportunity to go sniper, and he decided not to do it. So I guess he just doesn't want to play sniper right now.
I mean,
which is fair.
He's going on beast mode at scout at the moment. He's probably one of the best in the server. He actually...
Oh, they jump in?
Oh my god, Silverdogs made room for Lock, he made room for Down, he made room for Enrif, and they all died. They fell down like dominoes, one by one by one. Fantastic cleanup work by New South Wales, who jump up on Spire, take it up, and they should be able to get a fairly easy midpoint from here, as they will deny forward spawns for Team Victoria, who aren't up for another couple of seconds now.
Yeah, that's really big. That's, like, you definitely fight mid here, but okay, they're just gonna actually block mid here with the Uber, so that's very interesting. And we see Down and Lock there just waiting in Valley to jump in, and here comes the big jump in. Can they actually fight the stop? They got really good damage actually. Oh my god, Down's farm is just monsters. There's a scout in house. Soda jumps in, but he gets taken down by
Oh my
Silverdogs.
god, Silverdogs and Down just combined there for so much damage. That was absurd. It's just Spade trying to jump around, and he gets spots out, and he sure takes an arrow. He's so low, he's 5 HP, but just gets to the health back in time. That's a terrifying spot to be in when you're a roamer, knowing you're the only person alive and the enemy team is all their attention on you. But he just escapes.
Yeah, and he just missed a rocket jump as well, so he didn't have.
Oh, but he comes in, he gets a
Enrif
massive-
gets air shot.
There we
See you
go.
later, buddy.
Doesn't finish him off with a midi, but you know, good enough. He'll take that.
He got the credit still. It's fine. I mean, it's a bit of a silly situation right here. I don't think they can make too much of it, but the demo man being down does mean that you can like walk out through doorways and not get instantly just killed. You know, so it can just result in some small openings being fought in. They're going to come in with the super advantage. Sam's on 90%, but they managed to take all of the top left side here, but it's been a pretty good rotation so far. Point hasn't been pressured at all, but Samson goes down. Oh, that's big. Down, taking the medic, killing him, and everyone else is just going to get cleaned up. Demoman's last person alive. He actually does put up a pretty good fight. Takes 2 players down, but that's going to make it 3-0 for Victoria. I didn't quite see it, what happened to Samson, but he was just sitting with that 90%-ish Uber, just desperately trying to build it as fast as possible, and just the pressure was too much.
Yeah, New South Wales tried to rotate around the point there, but just didn't do it fast enough. Again, because it's open at the back there, the enemy team, if you go behind there, they can just shoot their guns at you and you will die. As we get into the fourth mid fight here, CK taking a ton of damage, unable to clean up Enrif. Spade and Fane coordinate their bombs, but they don't shoot any rockets, and Silverdogs takes them down, and all of New South Wales is stuck down in Valley here. Spade eventually jumps out to his team, but Silverdogs is chasing hard. They want these frags. Spade looks like he'll go down, and he will. Starbucks cleans up Silverdogs, and that should be the wrong. Actually, Enrif, he gets Enrif too with some really nice aggressive. As Hertz just wanting to spam some arrows, getting Samson down quite low. He actually heals Cookie long range to help him survive that 1v1. So Hertz with a nice little play back in a corner there.
Yeah, and this is one of those annoying situations where you have this small Uber advantage, but you can't really use it because you're defending last and you're down a bunch of players.
Sorry to cut you off, Peter. We have the Pyromaniac on the field right now.
Ooh. So he didn't want to play sniper at all for so long, and this is the AUK class that he chooses. This is interesting to me.
Yeah, the famous second to last heavy. Second to last Pyro. You must know that push.
I've actually I have seen it, like where you go bottom left, but I think it works a lot better when the point is close because then you can just air blast in one direction and push everything back, right? So I guess it's gonna be a different thing. Like, wasn't it Fozzlm that did this?
It was, I believe it was a bender. If we're going back into the lore of OZFortress, some of the known off-classing goblins there. I believe Paulson was with one of the teams that did that. I'm not quite sure, but actually we see Team New South Wales coming in really soon. They've neglected to think about a Sentry Gun, which is a pretty good counter to Pyro. This Uber comes in, and W Mouse 1 isn't actually that good when you have other enemies that are Ubered, but Victoria manages to get out with most of their players there. So, I mean, a terrible Uber, but they got out of that fight pretty well. It's down. Looks like he might actually want to come in late here. He gets one rocket onto the point, but is cleaned up by Fane, who does actually lose his life there. So not a terrible play by Down, as it's able to get his team in, and Hertz is just BMing. He's going for the point. I mean, that's really a BM play there as Silverdox goes down too. Victoria showing absolutely no respect to New South Wales right now.
Yeah, like when the medic is just leading the charge like that, that feels so disrespectful. But you know, they're gonna pay for it. Alright, nice shot there by Locke. He's just gonna do an ad 5 and then Spade comes in and get the shot as well. So everyone's happy. You know, this is the good part of Badlands where you just add 5 and just shoot each other on Spire. So here we go again. Sorty comes in, nice rocket there. It's gonna win that fight. So down with the rockets. He's got the MG stuff down, and that's gonna be enough to just put any attempt at a Spire cap just to rest. It's not going to work.
Oh my god, he has Starbucks too. And Silverdox is chasing him with his frags. He's not content. He wants to go top of the scoreboard here as he already is. Samson doing his best, going for the swords. He gets cleaned down by Silverdox. Hertz gets an Uber Swan. There we go. Victoria pick up their 4th round with 7 and a bit minutes left on the clock. Pretty much a complete domination. You know, New South Wales had them on the ropes early, but just couldn't finish out rounds. And since then, Victoria has just... I mean, they've annihilated them, to put it nicely.
Yeah, it's they've even gotten the mids under control. They really struggled with them early on, but let's see. That like just every single soldier is in the skybox right now. Down gonna actually do a lot of damage here to the demo man, and will actually trade with him. So a really nice dying rocket there from him. It's gonna be 2 scouts desperately trying their best to just win this fight, and the Cookie's on like 5 HP. He actually does get taken down. Now it's gonna be a demo man and a medic against a scout and a soldier, and I would actually favor the scout and the soldier in this fight here. Medic just trying to get out.
Hertz, no, you're not allowed to get away with that. And the CK, is he gonna punish? Surely CK can get a demo man.
Oh,
he's surviving. He's no, they're just looking at each other. Now it's gone to melee wars. Oh, Down ruined it. Come on, that's not acceptable. Get him out of the server. Sub him out. You can't be having that. Once the melee's been pulled out with crouching players, you have to respect it.
Yeah, typical American soldier, just not respecting the autonomy of other like sovereign states right there. Just goes in and intervenes. Just typical. Yeah, that's just those are the unspoken rules of TF2, and they have been broken, and this is pretty upsetting. So it's gonna be a very passive hold here on Greybridge. I think they're just gonna getting ready to go out. Actually, they do manage to take Down and kill him, so they're going to be a player down. There's a small Uber advantage as well. It's going to be very difficult to actually use it for anything, but like they're acting like they just want to Uber in immediately, and I like
yeah, that's exactly what they do. They pop in pretty early, get the reply. Starbucks gets taken down immediately, which really is not what you wanted to push into the slot. CK is just holding back here, and Samson and his team just kind of hanging around these stairs, not really doing too much. Cookie and Hertz coming in from the side. Hertz again showing no respect and just getting 2-shot by that scout, who does get cleaned up by Cookie, who combined with Locke to get the medic and the pocket there. Cookie's on a rampage. He wants Spade and he gets him. As Silverdox and Down just walk onto the point, and there we go. The GG's in chat as Victoria take it 5-0 with 5 minutes remaining on the clock.
Yeah, very clean. There were a couple of moments where it looked like the hubris was going to get to them, but nah, at the end of the day, they were just a better team, and they managed to get it there. So, yeah, this is kind of what we expected, right? It's a very stacked team, and to be fair, I do think New South Wales put up a very good fight. But just once that that train started rolling, I don't think they could find the brakes. It was just too much, and like the V pushes were just so brutal every time. It really just seemed to be like that willingness to just go in there and play off of very tiny advantages and then just make the best out of those. That just really made it so possible to just roll it like that in the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's what stood out for me too. I mean, the moment Victoria saw an opening, they'd take it, and that would kind of snowball as they moved on from like their second to midpoint. You know, they'd catch players off of a spawn wave, they'd push them back, then that'd push the next lot of players back. And New South Wales really never got a chance to settle down until they were on that last point, and at that point, they were already pushing in, you know, with full player advantage, or in some cases with a pyro. And at that point, you know, when you're constantly dying and you can't really get a chance to get your bearings, it gets under your skin. You're not able to really play to your potential. And then when the only part of the map you were really strong at, the midpoints, you know, Victoria start to slow down and dominate because, you know, their scouts just hang around their med and, you know, really deny any sort of aggressive jumping. Then that kind of snowballs on, and yeah, we saw Victoria take a very comfortable 5-0 lead, which, I mean, they probably could have got with even more time remaining on the clock if they wanted to. It's only because of the fact that Hertz and Silverdogs were kind of messing around right at the end there, you know. I feel like this map could have been over about 5 minutes sooner if they wanted it to be.
Yeah, probably. I'm just looking at the logs. Spade actually top damaging by quite a bit. That's pretty impressive on a losing team like that. And to be fair, like there were a bunch of times where scouts and medics were just like feeding into him. And he got a bunch of really fat rockets. But I mean, he was also, you know, doing the Spire MG thing and hitting some really good shots and just in general playing really well. So it's a good job to him. And one thing I noticed a lot was Trumpet just dying a whole bunch. And it kind of surprised me that he only has 13 deaths, because it was very often, like when he died, that would trigger a push. And it just seems like maybe someone else died first and then he was a little bit too far forward and then he just got overwhelmed, and then, you know, that's where the train just started rolling downhill and there was just no stopping it. So, yeah. He had a fewer deaths than I thought he would.
Yeah, I kind of going on from that. I felt you're right. You know, when he died, it was the cause for Victoria to push. But on the flip side, when he was getting kills, it wasn't really helping New South Wales out too much. You know, it was kind of in the middle of team fights that they may have already been winning, or like a trap that they couldn't really push off of. So, you know, his KD in the end wasn't bad, but it felt like he was kind of, yeah, his performance, even though his deaths weren't that bad, I feel like what he brought to the team offensively kind of didn't weigh it out as much as it shows on the stats line. You know, this is kind of one of those tales where numbers only tell you so much of the story.
Yeah,
Not to rag on him
general,
too
like,
much.
yeah, like 5-0s, they're very like lopsided in the way that the logs show it, and like you can't tell a whole lot. I mean, it was a 25-minute game, so that makes it better. But you know, like whenever you have like a 5-0 roll, you know, when there's like 10 minutes, that's where logs get really weird, and you have like a scout with 600 DPM, and you don't even like notice it, right? And maybe the pocket on the winning team went like, I don't know, 2 for 8 or something, because he just happened to die on mid fights, and then the team won before he could do anything. You know, so like you get weird logs when it's very lopsided games. So I wouldn't look into it too much.
Yep. And so looking down the logs of the other matches that occurred, it looks like SA got an easy 5-0 win over the Allies in 11 minutes, and Queensland beating out WA 2-1 going to the full map time. So some pretty tense matches there. At least that final map, you know. SA bashing on the Allies isn't, you know, too much to talk about.
Yeah, we all need a whipping dog. It's cool.
Yeah, and not to beat on the Allies too much, but sign-ups for them weren't spectacular. You know, they're putting in the efforts. Good on them, but I don't think they're gonna really have much to say when it comes to finals tomorrow evening. Not to jinx them too early in proceedings.
You know, that's not always what it's about. It's about competing and getting better and getting to play. Yeah, it's good stuff. I don't know. In the ETF 12 Nations Cup, I always love it when you have like these small nations like like Algeria or something, where you don't really normally see a whole lot of them, but like when they all come together, they actually have a pretty decent team, and they can't win it, but they make some waves and have fun. It's
Yeah,
cool.
exactly. I mean, it's CF2. What are we here for if not to have fun?
Oh, I thought it was no fun allowed stream.
Oh no, sorry. This is only fun allowed stream. We're flipping the script on its head for tonight and tomorrow night only. After this, for season 27, back to no fun. Then it's 100% serious. But
Alright,
we decided to give our players a little bit of fun. They deserve it. They're good.
Alright, well, I will have no part in this, alright? So,
Okay, I'm sorry, Big.
yeah, I was promised no fun, so can we get Sander back in here and tell us maybe like what we can expect coming up here?
Yeah, if Xander, you're around?
I'm not sure I like fun either.
Oh my god, you know what? Maybe I'm gonna disappear here and you two can be the no fun crew.
That would be great.
Yeah, we might head to a couple of minute break, shuffle over maps, shuffle over casters, and then we'll come back with the third round of our ozfortress state versus state in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, sounds good to me. Yeah, let's flow to some